what next?
So to your viewers' question about is the army divided? Sure, the army is not a monolith. People have opinions. This is an army which has, at least in the younger officers, I've spent a lot of time with them on the front lines over the last few years. They like the guy. They like Imran. And why wouldn't they? I mean, for the last 10, 15 years, this whole army has, and the rest of the country has been fed a narrative.
Sorry, I'm cutting you short because I'm on short time. But when Imran Khan says it's not the army, it's one man, it's Asim Munir, do you agree with that?
So that's the bit which has gotten him into trouble. But the army may be divided in terms of personal views, but I think it's really come together, and it's closed up its ranks. It's joined, formed together after the events of May 9th. And I think Asim Munir is taking due advantage of that. And I do agree with General Atta that we saw a weaker, quieter, more subdued Asim Munir before May 9th. But now that the attack is physical, I think he has been forced to bare his fangs and show his rank and file.
I'm going to jump in. Sorry.
That he's in charge.
General Atta, go ahead, sir.
See, Barkha, for me, as a concluding remark, if I may say, I wrote, and I still believe in that, this is a coup in the making. A coup in the making can continue for a fairly long period of time. It's a form of guided democracy which is going to exist in Pakistan for some time. Guided by whom? Obviously by the army. It's always been a guided democracy virtually, but here the intensity of guidance is going to be much, much more in the near future. As to the violation of the cantonment, etc., I may tell you, if civilians get into cantonments in this manner anywhere in India, they'll only shoot to kill orders, nothing else. I'm surprised that when you say that the Lahore garrison or Lahore cantonment is so heavily guarded, how can there be not QRTs around, quick reaction teams around? I mean, we can question this in a military fashion till the end. My answer to the question which has been put out on your thing is very interesting. I don't think this is a division between the United States and China, etc. No, you're taking it too far. This is all political. The Pakistan army is getting more and more politicized. And I think this is not the end that we have seen. This is going to be the weakness of the Pakistan army in the future.
Now, before I give General Shukla the last word, one thing we didn't speak about is Imran Khan's comments on 1971 and the creation of Bangladesh. And I just think that has been such a long shadow over Pakistan that why would Imran Khan invoke it? It is mysterious. But I just want to play out that comment as we conclude and give General Shukla the last word. Listen.
यहाँ इन्होंने इतना खौफ और हरासा फैला के डरा के डंडे मार मार के लोगों को समझ रहे कि कंट्रोल कर लेंगे। मैं आज फिर से याद कराना चाहता हूं ईस्ट पाकिस्तान का। मेरी जिंदगी में हुआ ईस्ट पाकिस्तान मार्च 1971 के अंदर मैं वहां मैच खेलने गया था ईस्ट पाकिस्तान की अंडर 19 के खिलाफ। हमारा जो जहाज वापस आया था वो आखिरी जहाज था। मुझे अभी भी याद है कि कितनी नफरत हो गई थी पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ। हमें तो यह पता ही नहीं था। इसी तरह जिस तरह आज मीडिया कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं तब ये मीडिया कंट्रोल कर रहे थे। फर्क यह है कि आज सोशल मीडिया है और इन्होंने सोशल मीडिया ही बंद कर दिया। इस दौरान क्योंकि ये अपना वर्जन देना चाहते थे कि शर पसंद और बताना चाहते थे, इन्होंने सोशल मीडिया बंद कर दिया। आज हमें समझना चाहिए कि ईस्ट पाकिस्तान के लोगों से इतना बड़ा जुल्म हुआ। उनकी जो पार्टी इलेक्शन जीती है, जिसको प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनना, मुल्क गवा दिया, तबाह करवा दिए। 90,000 हमारे फौजी कैदी बन गए। मुल्क को नुकसान आप अंदाजा भी नहीं लगा सकते कितना हुआ।
Referencing there the 19,000 prisoners of war that were in Indian captivity. General Shukla, what did you make of this reference to 1971? I found it extraordinary.
Before I come to 1971, I just want to make one point about this politicality. And here, if I may just briefly recall the words of Field Marshal Manekshaw. In reference to the Indian Army's stance on politicality, he said that we are deeply politically conscious, but consciously not politically committed, which means we understand politics, we are not idiots, but it is a sacred commitment never not to dabble in politics. This is something the Pakistan Army has not understood in my view, and therefore it comes to grief very often. to understand a politicality as a sacred virtue and as a matter of deep commitment. And see here, what is worrying about Imran is his great popularity. He had penetrated the ranks of the Pak army and perhaps their families. And the incidents of 9/5 show that he had caused, a crack in the wall. And if General Ghani had not been sacked, that crack would have widened. And therefore, he almost breached the institutional solidarity of the Pak army that points to its great power and popularity, which had never been breached in the past. Even when Mr. Bhutto was hanged, I am told, they were sympathizers with Mr. Bhutto, but the institutional solidarity held. Here, these Imrandar generals and judges had almost enabled Imran to do that. And one quick point about these elections. Imran was in a hurry for elections because he knows that by September, Justice Omar Bandyal would have been out, and Justice Qazi Faiz Isa, who's a constitutional judge who would not have tolerated any of Imran's nonsense, would be the Chief Justice. And then with Asim Munir not on your side, Qazi Fiza not on your side, that would have been the end of the chapter of Imran Khan. Therefore, he was in a hurry, and therefore he took this gamble, which has backfired.
And now, quickly, sir, briefly, and now?
And now I think the news is tightening around Mr. Imran Khan. He is a great fighter, but I think the odds are severely against him, very, very severely against him.
Okay, we are closing. Wajahat, do you have a last thought? Wajahat?
Yeah, hi, thanks. I agree with the general's assessment about the news loosening, rather tightening, but I disagree rather with the minutiae of the right judge in the right place. There have been 4 players in this overall: Imran versus the establishment, which is the government and the military together, and the judiciary and the people of Pakistan at large. There have been 4 players in this. The people have, as usual, been disregarded. Right now, the interfaces between the party and the army, we're at a very dangerous turn of a 13-month-long crisis. And at this point, it's a process of elimination. It's becoming a zero-sum game. And we know what that means in a place like Pakistan.
Okay, Meher, I really do have to close. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, yeah?
10 seconds. 1971 has been brought into focus because instead of having elections, they've decided to go for a civil war. This is what Hussain Nadeem, you're familiar with his work, former executive director of the Islamabad Policy Research Institute. He tweeted, and I think this sums up exactly what is happening in Pakistan. Between election and civil war, they have chosen civil war. What a sad day for Pakistan, and what a shameful conduct by the government. Expected no less from them. Elections nahi karane. That is why the reference to 1971, that despite Mujibur Rahman's clear majority, Bhutto, and I'm a big fan of Bhutto, he decided not to cede power to him, and they started a war. Just because they didn't want Rahman.
That's quite a thought.